The Cowherd and the Weaver Girl. A long time ago, there lived 7 fairy sisters in heaven. One day, they traveled to the mortal world after obtaining permission from the goddess of heaven. When they arrived in the mortal world, they decided to take a bath in a lake near the cowherder's house. They enjoyed their time together, splashed in the water and laughed. However, the sounds caused the cowherder to wake up from his sleep to investigate the source of commotion. He could see the fairies swimming as he got closer to the lake. Encouraged by his mischievous companion the ox, he stole their clothes and waited to see what would happen. Ginu, the youngest and most beautiful of the fairy sisters, was chosen to retrieve their clothing. She agreed to do so, but since Niulang had seen her, she agreed to his request for marriage. She proved to be a wonderful wife, and Niulang to be a good and loving husband. They lived happily together on Niulang's farm and had 2 children. However, after spending time in the mortal world, the other 6 fairies became concerned about their sister, because it was forbidden for them to marry mortal men. The fairies kept it a secret, as they did not want the goddess of heaven to find out about Ginu's marriage with the mortal cowherder. The goddess finally found out about the conjugal relation between the two, and ordered Xenu to return to heaven to resume her former duty of weaving colorful clouds, a task she neglected while living on earth with a mortal. On earth, Niulang was devastated that his wife had vanished. He couldn't imagine life without her. Seeing his master's anguish, Niulang's ox suggested he kill him and put on his hide in order to travel to heaven and reunite with his fairy wife. The cowherd killed his ox and put on his hide. He took both of his children to seize Ginu because he could travel to heaven. The cowherd's actions enraged the goddess of heaven, and she scratched a white river in the sky to forever separate the 2 lovers, forming the Milky Way between Altair and Vega. Ginu must sit forever on one side of the river, sadly weeping on her room, while Niulang watches her and cares for their 2 children. However, after much thought and deliberation, the goddess of heaven finally permitted Niulang and Ginu to see each other for 1 night per year. As a result, once a year, all of the magpies in the world would take pity on them and fly up into heaven to form a bridge over the star Deneb in the Cygnus constellation, allowing the lovers to be together for a single night, which is the 7th night of the 7th moon.